Hello, hi students. This is Dr. Karen Perez, and I wanted to create a video to explain this week's upcoming concept analysis assignment. So, per the rubric, here's what should be included in your assignment. You're going to select a concept and explain why you select it. And a concept can be anything. It could be teamwork, it could be caring, it could be health, it could be trust, it could be nurse, it could be any concept. And I would advise you to choose one that is healthcare related. Make it simple. Do not choose a sentence as a concept, but choose a word or a compound word. For example, as a compound word, it could be teamwork or critical thinking. Or you can choose one, could be hope, all right, could be trust, could be care, but choose a word that is related to healthcare. And then the next thing, so that's 10 points to select a concept and explain why you select it. Then you want to determine the aims of the analysis. Then you want to identify the use of the concept. You want to determine the attributes. You want to identify the antecedents. You want to identify the consequences. You want to define the empirical reference. You want to also discuss the importance of a concept in practice and research, and also make sure that you use APA format. So while a concept analysis is much broader than this and may include other components like a model case, a borderline case, and a contrary case, for this assignment, this is what is required. And what I'd advise you to do is to use headings to make sure that you meet those requirements and that you include all of these topics in your paper. So what is a concept analysis? A concept analysis is basically a deeper explanation of a phenomenon of interest. And I mentioned it could be anything: love, caring, trust, hope, teamwork, critical thinking, care. And what it does, it give a deeper dive into the word to look what the true meaning is. And so what this does, it maybe convey a similar meaning, including the concept clarification or creating a conceptualized meaning. So you're going to look deep inside the word. Like, for example, the word critical thinking, people may have different meaning of critical thinking. So when you do a concept analysis, it get down to the root of it as what the real meaning is. So in doing a concept analysis, we're going to use the Walker and Avant method. And Walker and Evans said that concepts are the building block of nursing theory construct and are made up of attributes that makes them unique and different from other concepts. So if you should look at the attribute for caring, it will be different from the attributes for teamwork. So it also explains the structure and the function of a concept, is the purpose of a concept analysis. So again, the purpose of a concept analysis is to examine the structure and the function of the concept. So your paper must have an introduction. And so the introduction introduces the topic while indicating an inherent importance of interest. You want to indicate the methodology, the structure, with the major section. And you also want to state the thesis statement in a single sentence. Here's an example of an introduction. You talk about what a concept is, and also give you some history behind the concept. And also at the bottom, you'll see where it give you a statement. It says, although the term is used widely, there is no clear definition of the usage of the concept in nursing, and the concept in this case, which is critical thinking. So make sure that you have an introduction, and also too, you want to make sure that you have supporting evidence in your introduction, meaning you want to cite where you got it from. So if you can see Walker and Avant, and you may say, I don't see any citation in this. This is a different citation style. For this paper, you need to use APA. But the example here is Vancouver. So you may see 1, 4, and 2. This is a different style of citation. So you want to make sure that you use APA format, which in-text citation will be the author name and the year. And you want to make sure that it's included also in your introduction. So the definition and use of the concept. So what you're going to do is you're going to use again the Walker and Abbott method when defining the concept. And it's important to identify as many use of the concept as possible to achieve a complete understanding of it. So therefore, what you're going to do, you're going to look up all the profession that use the word teamwork, for example. The sport industry use the word teamwork. The military use teamwork, law enforcement use teamwork, the healthcare use teamwork. And you're going to look up the definition of all these different professions on the concept teamwork. So also too, you're going to tell us the source, where you got it from. Did you get it from the dictionary? Did you get it from a book, a journal? Make sure you cite it. All right. So you're going to give the definition of a concept from different profession, and this is how you define. This is the definition and use of the concept. All right. And make sure you use headings for each section. Now, you're going to identify the use. So in terms of the law, clergy, trade, and when I said identify the use, we're referring to who else used the concept. All right. Then next, after who else used the concept, we talk about different areas, the military, nursing, law enforcement. You want to then identify, after you look in each area, you look in nursing, who use a concept. You look in the sports industry, who uses a concept. You look in the military, who uses a concept. You're going to pick out words that are similar in each of these different areas. This is called the attributes. And attributes are a cluster of characteristics that are most frequently closely linked to the concept. So you're going to look in all these different professions, which you define the word, the concept, and you're going to say, wow, I noticed that this word is used frequently associated with a concept. And so that is where you get your attributes from. So if you do not have your definition from different areas or different professions, it's going to be difficult for you to find your attributes. So, for example, using terms common to nursing, it could be use 3. It's good to have 3 attributes. And if they're closely linked to nursing, that's good. If they're not, that's fine. But you have to try your best to link it, because remember that this is related to nursing. So when I did my concept analysis, I used the word critical thinking. My concept was critical thinking, and I noticed evaluation, open mind, and assessment was used. So after you identify the attributes, don't just say assessment, evaluation, open mind. You have to then link them into nursing. So after you identify them, then you have to say nurses do assessment whenever they have their patient, when they administer medication or give care. They have to assess prior to, evaluate. So you're going to tie these concepts into nursing. It's not only just giving the concepts only. The antecedents are action that must be present before the concept is present. So in this example of critical thinking, what must be present before critical thinking can occur? And I would also encourage you to use 3, because again, you have to tie them into nursing. So in the example of the critical thinking, I found 3 things must occur before critical thinking can occur. And there must be a problem, there must be a questioning attitude, and there must be a need for answers. And then after I identify those, then I will tie each in with a situation with nursing. Say that you chose hope as your concept. What must occur before hope can occur? Somebody may be ill. someone maybe lack of faith. So what must occur before the concept can occur? Then we have consequences, and consequences are described as an event that occur as a result of the concept. So after critical thinking, then what? Or because of critical thinking, what happened? All right. Safer practice, confident in nursing decision. If it is hope that is your concept, because someone have hope, what happened? They're more likely to adhere to um, treatment. They're much more engaged and participate in the plan of care. So consequences are what must happen, what will happen after the concept occur. Now, this part is not in, may not is not included in your requirement for the paper, but you will see this sometimes in concept analysis, and it's a model case. And what a model case is just an example of a case that contain all the attributes of the concept, and then you have borderline case, which will have some related attributes of the concept, and then you have contrary cases that has nothing to do with the concept. And again, this is not included in the criteria for your paper, but I have it here just so that you know that you will see these things, or you will see these parts in a concept analysis most of the time. Now we're going to go to the empirical reference. Now, using the example of critical thinking, there are tools that one can use that is used to assess critical thinking. So that's an empirical reference. So if you're talking about hope, is there a scale that's used to measure hope? If you're talking about teamwork, is there a scale that's used to measure teamwork or the effectiveness of teamwork? So that's what is meant by empirical reference. Then you must have your implication to practice. How does this information affect practice? You came up with your definition by looking at everything. You're able to formulate a concrete definition of the concept. How does this affect practice? And then your conclusion is a summary of the paper. No new information should be in your conclusion, but it should just be a summary of your paper. I hope this information helps. Please feel free to give me a call or send me an email if you need any additional information. All right, and again, use APA format. Thank you.